wanted reasons. So I brought the floor plans, not feelings, not accusations. Not another midnight argument dressed in emergency lighting. Evidence. Because by the end, truth had been handled by so many frightened hands, it stopped looking like anything either of us could recognize. Yo, you spoke like certainty came factory sealed, like your version of the room was the only one real. Every doubt got painted as emotional distortion. Every question treated like an act of extortion. You kept borrowing confidence from panic, called it instinct, called it clarity, called it proof. But fear can wear a crown and still not be the truth. You built conclusions out of weather, made a doctrine from a mood, and handed me the sentence before the facts were even viewed. Some people need answers, some need control, some call it truth. When terror finds a microphone, that was borrowed certainty, not wisdom, not vision, just fear with better posture and a cleaner definition. You said I know, but you didn't. You were bracing for pain and naming the position I left because reality kept bending around your fear. And every time I tried to speak, the room refused to hear. You collected fragments like sacred evidence, a late reply, a tired face, a sentence missing elegance. Then fed them through a system already trained to find betrayal. Every neutral signal came back hostile once it passed through your survival. I was not standing trial, I was standing inside an algorithm built before I arrived. A machine that turned closeness into threat and then asked why connection never survived. You didn't need the truth, you needed confirmation, needed every moving shadow to validate the devastation. The wound asked questions, the fear applied. The story got repeated until the witness testified. That was borrowed certainty, not wisdom, not vision, just fear with better posture and a cleaner definition. You said I know, but you didn't. You were bracing for pain and naming the position I left because reality kept bending around your fear. And every time I tried to speak, the room refused to hear. The mind hates empty spaces, so it fills them fast with old disasters wearing masks from the past. Memory is not a window, sometimes it is a script. Sometimes yesterday grabs the wheel and calls the crash a gift. You were reading me, you were reading history, overlaying my face with somebody else's mystery. And maybe I did the same in quieter ways. Maybe both of us mistook old smoke for present flame. But one of us had to stop, call it panic perception. One of us had to interrupt the inherited projection. I am not saying your fear was imaginary. I am saying fear is not automatically accurate. I am not saying your wounds were invalid. I am saying wounds are terrible architects when nobody checks the measurements. And I could not keep living inside a house where every doorway was designed by what hurt you before I ever entered. Check the wiring, check the myth beneath the firing, check the moment truth got traded for the comfort of being vindicated. Check the room, check the tone, check the story living in the bone, check the fear, check the frame, check who benefits when nothing ever changes name. I left because certainty became a weapon with no fingerprints, because every conversation started clean then ended in forensic splits. I left because your fear kept hiring my silence as unpaid staff, because I was not allowed a human moment without it becoming aftermath. I left because I watched us build a religion out of reaction, a private little courtroom where anxiety called itself attraction, and love kept getting summoned to defend what fear had made, until tenderness became a witness too exhausted to stay. That was borrowed certainty, not wisdom, not vision, just fear with better posture and a cleaner definition. You said I know, but you didn't. You were bracing for pain and naming the position. So here is the reason, here is the line. I left when your survival kept pre-priding mine. I left when truth needed permission from whatever wound was near. I left because love cannot breathe where fear keeps calling itself clear. Some people do not lie because they hate the truth. They lie because certainty feels safer than not knowing. And sometimes leaving is not the failure of love. Sometimes leaving is the first honest thing that survives the architecture.